This past week at the SEMA Auto Show, Kia unveiled its new electric camper van, the Wkndr, and it's the closest thing we've seen to a Honda Element, so we gotta talk about it. So before you get your hopes up, this is still a prototype. This is not going into production yet, but Kia, if you're out there, if you're listening, this is what we want. One of the things I really love about the Wkndr is its pop-top tent, similar to what you'll get in the Wkndr Vanagon, and it allows you to stand inside of the van, which is really cool when you go out camping because you can still maintain really good gas mileage when the pop-top is down. But when you want more space, you can pop the pop-top up and then you can cook inside, you can stand inside, you can hang out and do all the fun things when you're camping. Another really cool thing about this van is that it's 100% electric. And on top of that, it has these really cool hydro wheels, which I believe gathers energy from wind. And I guess when you go through water, that powers the electric batteries that are inside. It's kind of this insane future technology that I don't quite understand yet, but it's there. The way that the Wkndr generates power is that it has solar panels on top of the roof. So when you pop the tent up, you can gather energy that way, or even when you're driving and it's flat, you can still gather energy from the solar panels up top, which is amazing because the roof is big, so you can gather a ton of energy that way. So I'm really excited to see the future of solar panels and how they integrate with new electric vans. Now, I know when it comes to electric vehicles, there's a lot of you out there who are super divided. Some of you love electric cars, some of you absolutely despise electric cars. I lean more towards the side of loving electric cars. I think there's a ton of potential there. I think it's just so cool to not have to rely on gas, and I think it's really cool that you can use things like the sun to generate power, to power your car. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what the future holds for electric vehicles. On the back of the Kia Wkndr, you'll see that the seats are actually embedded into the walls, and that's really cool. So like when you want to use it as a storage vehicle, you can just use it as a storage vehicle. When you want some extra seating in the back for passengers or hanging out, you can pull the seats out. And I thought this was super clever, but you can take those little pads, put them into the passenger seats, and then it turns the passenger seats into like a swivel seat, similar to what you'll see from Hero's Hot Rods and our Honda Elements. I think that was a pretty clever thing that Kia did with the seats, is to stash them away when you don't need them, have multi-functions for the seats when you do need them. So nice work with the seating configuration, Kia. The shape of the pop-top tent is really cool. It reminds me a little bit of like the low-roof Sprinter vans with the pop-up tent attachment, or like the Volkswagen Vanagons. It's the closest thing that we've seen from a manufacturer that has that pop-top tent integrated into it. So I'm super excited to see this come into production. The cool thing about this van is that it has displays in the front and it has displays in the back. Presumably you can use those displays for license plates information, or maybe sending like a message to the driver behind you. But the main function, I think, of the front little display is that it's connected to the winch. And when you're using a winch, I've never used one, but I think the idea is that you want to understand how much load that winch is pulling so the cables don't snap. So that display up front is going to show that information, that when you're using the winch, that it shows how much load is being pulled on the winch so you don't overstress the winch and then have an accident or something like that. The thing I was really happy to see with this EV is that it's not a super low profile EV, kind of like the Kia EV9, or if you just think about like a Tesla, they're super low to the ground because they're trying to be super efficient. But this Kia actually has a little bit of a lift, so if you want to take it on some light off-roading, you can do that. And what would be really cool to see is if it had some sort of like airbag suspension. So when you're driving down the road, you can lower it down and get better fuel economy. But then when you want to take it off-road, you can lift it, kind of like the Cybertruck has. So that's something I would like to see in the production version of this vehicle, is an electric sort of suspension situation. Look at this promotional video here, you can kind of get an idea of how high the EV is going to be compared to its standard EV9. Check it out. I think Kia did something really cool here. It's kind of like our Honda Elements, where you can have that nice boxy shape so you can store a bunch of stuff in it. It's modular, so you can use it for camping, you can use it for driving, for hauling goods, kind of like the Swiss Army knife of cars. So Kia, if you're out there, this is what we want. This is what we want to see. And if you're watching this, I would love to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about the Kia down below in the comments. Kia has this sort of pop-out door situation, and the kitchen is stored inside of this little compartment. So when the door pops out, the kitchen slides out. What I think is really cool about that is presumably the kitchen electronics are all electric, so you're going to be able to power all of your kitchen accessories from the battery that's embedded in the car. That's going to make camping so much easier because you don't have to bring propane, you don't have to bring the stove, it's all kind of embedded in the car. So I was super excited to see that feature in the Kia. Thanks again for watching today's video. Please let us know your thoughts down below in the description. And if you want to get a cool Honda Element sweater like this, I'll leave the links down below in the description. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.